Okay. So I'll give it like 10 seconds to go. All right. So my name is Jay. Welcome to Short Boost Bootcamp 2. The purpose of this is to teach you the ins and outs of the trick, the short boost, as well as the screw attack short boost. So let's begin. All right. So a couple of things about this trick. There's sort of an art to it. I like to think of it as like sort of like it's not a pass-fail kind of thing. It's sort of like a menial task that can sort of be, I guess you can get different kinds of quality depending on how you do it. Short boost is very much that kind of trick. I like to compare it to pulling an espresso shot. The quality you get is directly dependent on how well you do. So there's that. And before we begin, I want to remind y'all that this is one of the hardest strats in the game. It's apparently second only to Elaine Steele. So don't get discouraged. Calm down. Breathe. You know, you'll fail the trick until you don't. So let me go into a little bit about how this is supposed to work. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to face the direction you want to short boost in. Alright, so I'm on this ledge right here. I've decided that I want to be able to charge a speed booster by the time I get to here. In a normal use of the speed booster, not possible. It's almost possible, but it's not possible. Try that. Yeah. So now, what we want to do is we want a short boost, and there's a difference between just short boosting and the trick that is done at, near the screw attack room, and the difference is mostly leniency. This is very lenient. The room, the blue teleporter room, is also very lenient. Any short boost that faces or that has you facing away from a wall is pretty lenient. Ledge ones are much more difficult, culminating in the hardest one, which is the screw attack short boost, where you have to deal with the ledge, you have to deal with taking cold damage, you have to deal with farming, and you have to deal with a 15 tile runway. This is 17 tiles.
Right,
this is 17 tiles right now.
Sure.
So you'll see what I mean about leniency when I get started here. So you want to face the direction that you want to short boost in, first of all. Check. Secondly, you want to ready your flash by holding A, and then you want to flash in the direction you're not facing. See, that was a normal one. But then you also want to rotate your stick from that direction to the down position. You can do a half circle if you want, but the trick only requires a quarter circle. I personally find it more comfortable to do a half circle, just because I can't it's such a fast trick that I can't really keep tabs on what my thumb's doing if I want to do it successfully. You know what I mean? And then you run forward and you start charging your speed booster. So I'm gonna give this a couple of tries. And there we go. I charged a speed booster on a platform where you're not supposed to do it. Alright, so a couple of things. So when you do this trick, you're going to want to separate your movements as much as possible. So you can think of it as several different blocks of movement. There's a setup if you have a setup that you need to do. That's one part. The flash is another distinct part. And then grouped together are the simultaneously letting go of A and rotating your stick in the direction, you know, rotating, doing the half circle or doing the quarter circle. And then another piece is how long you wait for, you know, how long you wait in neutral, which I've been messing around with this, and I think that, you know, it's like not really that easy to explain, but it's just like I sort of go with like a slow heartbeat, you know, like duh duh, you know. It greatly depends, because this is not a trick where you can do the same timing for different, you know, different distances and expect it to work.
Right. So how long do you have to wait neutral? Changes depending on how far you flash?
Yes. So, okay. So the core concept here is when I do... Let's see if I can do one. You're going to see me, like, if I do it successfully, you're going to see me, like, teleport to, like, maybe, like, a half tile to the right.
Yep.
Right, or slide. Right, sure. Yeah, like that. If I can get the teleporter, see how freaky, yeah, like that. See how freaky that is? Yeah. So, that's just kind of like a successful flash cancel. And the idea behind flash canceling is that obviously you're going to move a set distance when you do your flash shift, because that's how the game's programmed. But some enterprising people found a way to cancel the flash and change the direction you're going in. And this is the core of the short boost. So, you can think of flash canceling as storing up speed booster distance. The distance that you would have, like, covered in the flash shift. So, like, you cancel half of that distance, then you have half of that, you know, you have half a flash shift to work with. Do you kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So, again, it depends on how good your timing is. Like, if you do one that's, like, sloppy and you only get a quarter of flash shift distance, then you got a quarter, and you're not going to be able to do much with that. So this is kind of why I say it's like pulling an espresso shot. So this is the cancel. And anywhere you're moving backward, I like to call the pull. You are extracting energy. You are extracting distance out. And depending on how good your cancel is, you will extract more distance and be able to charge a speed booster on smaller and smaller runways.
Sure.
So there's like a fair bit of leniency to this one. You just have to sort of figure out what you're going for. All right, so I'm gonna move to Arteria and show you the screw tactics. Are there any questions so far?
No.
Yeah, you explained one of my questions.
Okay, that's good. It's gonna take me a little bit to get there, so yeah. Y'all do anything cool this week? I don't know.
I think I found a place in Artaria to... Oh my god, I forgot how weird bomb jumping feels. I'm sure it just...
Yeah. All right, so. And also, so there are multiple different places to practice. The main Ferenia atrium where you fight the Ferenia robos is like one of those places. Also, any ledge between 15 and any platform between 15 and 17 tiles long is a good spot. So the blue teleporter fits this. The bottom of the room that you're going to do the screw attack short boost in fits this as well. But you won't be able to, if you don't have gravity suit, you're gonna take cold damage and you won't be able to practice it. So I'll go into a couple of different like contingency plans you can do if you're doing screw attack short boost and you're like, man, I don't have timing down for this at all. I can't seem to get like a successful flash cancel, that kind of thing. You won't be able to charge speed boosters in these locations, but you'll be able to flash cancel, and you'll be able to know that you're doing it right or wrong. So, all right, I'm almost there. Huh? Free practice. I'm doing a real sloppy job. Oh my god. Alright. So this is the room. The first thing you're gonna want to do in this room is clear out these beds. Because at the point in time in the run where you do the screw attack short boost, you haven't released the X yet, so those bats won't. Alright, so here is the platform of interest. The one on both sides of this door. This is 15 tiles in length. It is probably the last shortest runway that's possible. I don't think you can do a 14. I'd be curious to know. All right, so I see Vitruvian Sasquatch is at the spot, suitless, without gravity, and Ben is.
Yeah, above.
Yeah.
It looks like the same size as one of those.
Yeah. Okay. So. All right. So a couple of things to note about this. Again, like I said, this is not very lenient. So it's just gonna be. It's gonna be like trial and error until you get it, and it's sort of way easier to practice this with the gravity suit, but I understand if you don't have one right now. You know, it's just like just so you're not taking cold damage, just so you're not having to farm, because the main thing with any trick is iteration, and if there's, you know, at least for me in my learning style, if there's a long time between iterations, it's sort of frustrating and it's sort of obnoxious. So I like to practice in optimal conditions and then sort of pull back the benefits one by one. So I'll pull, you know, for this one it's like, all right, so I went from Ferenia to here, and I was like, all right, so what are we removing? We're moving 2 tiles from the runway. And next we're going to remove a suit, so that we can do like the short boost that we actually need. So, like I said, good place to practice is down here.
Yep.
But you don't have gravity, you won't be able to do it.
I think this room is 17 tiles, the one I'm in.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. It seems like kind of a standard like box room size that like Mercury's team just kind of was like, all right, 17 tiles fits into widescreen pretty nice. For a room that is only like one screen tall or one screen wide. So that's pretty nice. So, the actual screw attack short boost is as follows. You're going to mantle this ledge, right? While you're mantling this ledge, you're going to morph. And you're going to let the ball fall where it may. It will always fall right here. Okay. So now that you've positioned yourself, grapple the door. And then as soon as you grapple the door, you're going to buffer a dash melee into the door. So this is usually when Samus's arm cannon goes back after she yanks the door.
Right.
So like, that's where you want to buffer.
Sure.
So, you do that, you do dash melee into the door, and then you're set up. At that point, you ready your flash shift, and you perform the short boost. I sat too long in the door, so whatever.
The door has to stay open.
The door has to stay open. Not only does the door have to stay open, the doors in this game have a mechanism where they have two types of, like, I guess, timers for the doors. One of them is when you're just passing through, and the other is when you're, like, sort of hanging out in the door. And, like, when you're hanging out in the door, you just have, like, a lot less time to do what you want to do. So, here it is all together. I'm probably not going to get it, but we're going to do it anyway. So that was very close, but no cigar. Again, very, very strict timing. Generally, what you're going to want to be looking for in a flash cancel is a perfect one. We'll have Samus... let me see if I can pull anything. A perfect one will have Samus right there. She will be center mass with this little divot right here. I've seen flash shifts, or I've seen short boosts that work back here, and I've seen short boosts that were further forward that didn't work because the timing is off. Again, this is a very kind of, trying to, this is a very, like, plate spinny kind of trick. Like, you're spinning a whole bunch of things. And you sort of have to make sure you sort of have to make sure everything is lined up properly before you can do it. Now, I'll show you that another setup that I use that will get you deeper into the door, which is only a couple more inputs. So you hang on the ledge, and instead of morphing when you mantle, you're still going to slow mantle, but instead of morphing when you mantle, you're going to hit the aim button. You're going to hold it. So, yeah. And then you're going to do the same thing where you open the door. I'm going to wait for it to close again. You do the same thing where you open the door, but you are going to buffer a dash melee and then immediately hold aim again.
So when you're in mid-air, you're aiming.
What's that?
So while you're in mid-air, you're aiming.
You're aiming, yeah. So it goes a little something like this. And now you can, once you're in the door, you can let go of the aim button. You're in the door. You are not going to be, you're not going to be transitioned to the other room if you're not moving. So that gets you a little deeper in the door, and that makes it a little more lenient. But at the expense of you needing to manage a couple of waypoints. So I'm just going to grind this out like I was doing earlier. And just sort of give my comments as I go along. Alright, so... yeah. So a lot of what... yeah. So a lot of what I said about like separating inputs is extremely important. Because every time I fail this trick, every time I go like... okay, so there's a couple of different ways to fail this trick. One of them is pretty deadly. Especially, it's pretty deadly if you only have 3 E-tanks. Which, at this point in the run, you should, but, you know, I know some people pick up a 4th for safety and NMG. I used to do that, but no longer need to do that. Glad I didn't get rid of the 3rd, because the 3rd is very important for short boost. Especially if you mess it up. So, I'm gonna see if I can come up with a couple of different ways of failing, and then I'll explain what went wrong. Alright, so that was one. You just flashed backward. My timing was too late. So, something about the way I was doing the half circle and the point at which I released A to do the flash shift, the game didn't like it. So it was like, alright, this is way too late. The timing on this is way too late. You're just gonna flash. So let's see if I can get a different way. Timing was too soon on that one. There's a certain distance you have to go before you can flash cancel. Otherwise, you'll just cancel it in place, and you'll end up like our Candy said in his short boost video. You end up very close to where you start. All right. So what's another way? There's one I get a lot. That is the death trap. When you slip off the ledge, you have to scramble to get back up. If the door is closed, you have to reopen it. So you're trying to get to safety there. If you can't do this in 3 E-tanks, you die. So when you slip off, you have the option of scrambling back up. And during this state, like where you're sort of hanging in midair, because the collision hasn't like updated yet for like some reason, so you're in midair, but the game thinks you're on the ground. You can still jump, and like you can jump in midair and like try to scramble back up and get through the door. It's not impossible, but the timing is kind of tight. So if I end up like doing something where where I slip like even further down, the only option is to go back the way you came. And then there's like
okay.
There's usually like a nice little, hold on, clear out a little annoyance. It's not good.
So is it, if you fall that far down, it takes this time to go out the other side?
I'm sorry?
If you fall all the way down, does it actually take less time to go out the other side?
Yeah, if you fall all the way down, it's like quicker to do this. Cause like you come down here and there's like a bat right here, and you can parry the bat and get your health back. And then if you have like 175 or so, you can do this little number where you just go back and try it again. And at that point, at least you didn't die. But if you do die, what you can do is, so, yeah, there's the bat. So like one thing you can do while you're practicing is you can set a checkpoint right here. This is, you know, it's a fairly weird checkpoint, but with this trick, it's a welcome one because, you know, it's fairly close to where you're at, and you only have to go a few rooms to try to attempt the trick again. So, yeah. So when I'm practicing non-gravity, I like to just be hanging out right there at that checkpoint. Go through the door, and you should be fine. Yep, that's the one. Ben, do you have any questions about short boost in general?
No. You definitely clarified a lot of stuff that I was struggling with. It's
That's
just
good.
getting the inputs correct.
Yeah. Getting the inputs correct and just sort of kind of just like stressing this and taking your time. You know, it's not like you have all the time in the world. In fact, you don't. You have like, I don't know, maybe 3 seconds before before the cold really starts biting. But you have a little bit of time, so don't rush it. You rush it, you're just gonna like mess it up. So you should, you know, if you're able to get to a point where you're like, all right, so I have to do this you know, input, and then I have to do this string of inputs, and then this string of inputs. You know, just sort of like chunk it out like. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. Holding A. That was fairly good. You know, it wasn't gonna get the job done, but at least it was a nice cancel. Yeah, so it's a trick that you should take your time with within reason. I'm gonna try to get another successful one. Yeah. And that one wasn't successful because I didn't start the flash, or I didn't start I didn't start moving soon enough after I neutraled the stick.
Sure.
So it's like, I need to think about it. I recorded a video of me like doing the beat. So it's like duh, duh. But it can be a little faster or slower depending on where you're flash canceling it up. And that's sort of the problem with this trick, is that it operates on a gradient, not like it's not like I said, it's not a pass or fail trick. It's not hit this frame and you're good. There's just like a couple. I think it's kind of like Cloakless Water Ass, where there are several different ways. You know, there are several different frames, but it's all still like frame perfect, you know what I mean? So like there's a frame that leads to a frame that leads to a frame, and then for another position there's a frame that leads to a frame that leads to a frame, and these are mutually exclusive, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so once you've done one thing, you have to keep on doing everything which is correct for that setup.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And with this, it's you have to do everything correct for the distance.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just grind this out for a little bit. See if I can get it. Yeah.
Right, and that's the mid-air jump you're talking about.
Yeah. That was perfect. Come over here, do that. It's going to be a lot slower when you do it without gravity. So let's do this. In fact, you are barely going to have time to do it. So it's important that your movements there are concise as well. if you're ending up in the room, in the other room, that means you're moving before you do the dash.
Yeah. I'm not great at buffering that.
Yeah, I don't know how I do it either. Some things I just don't know how I do. Yep, see, there we go, and then you have 55 health.
Exactly
and
the
it
amount.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always get 55 when you mess it up and save it.
Yeah, but take this as a consolation prize. You were close.
Yeah. I've gotten it. It's just not consistent at all.
Yeah. And it needs a lot of practice.
Yeah. Not
Like-
just that, I'm also really good for the ball spark going just horizontal for some reason.
Yeah.
So once you've got it, just ballsing it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Believe me, I've done that as well. Just like, ball spark going up. Not even getting the ball spark because I hadn't neutraled my stick before I just tried to fire it off. You know, all that stuff. So now I'm getting to the room where you're actually going to do it in the run. And then I sort of come in here, and then I'll farm this first one. Kneel down. A couple diffusion shots. I'll start farming again. Yeah. And I have most of what I need. Because of the slipping issue, I wouldn't go out in the cold anywhere less than 350.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I see. And if
Yep.
you're fast enough, 50 links would be fine. Just.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And then what's annoying is you just farm and farm and farm. On rookie mode, it's a lot better because I think you get 15 for a little one and 30 for a big one.
35.
35, yeah. And that's a lot better than normal mode, which is just 10, 25.
I guess putting earlier away essentially just means that damage one of their guns is out.
Well, sorry, could you explain that?
So you'd say, like, the moment you've made a mistake, it's better to just leave immediately? Rather
Absolutely.
Than, yeah.
If you gain the ability to tell when you make a mistake, just like don't hesitate. Just go back.
Sure.
That means less farming. That means less chance of you dying too.
Right, yeah. Because I guess you can tell when you do such a flash.
Yep. Usually. Oh, okay. Sorry. Chat. Kirby in the chat. Have you ever gotten a short boost where you instantly hold left after the flash cancel? I can't say that I have. No. I don't know. Like, I would think if you can do that, you wouldn't need to, because your runway would be long enough where you can just charge a regular speed booster, but I'm not like sure about that. Let's see if I can get the whole trick going. Let's see what this says. Kirby posted something in the chat. Short boost and shine sync out of blue teleporter blue Kirby. Yeah. Okay, so that's like a... So, it really depends on like how close you are to the ledge or how close you are to the wall, yeah.
Yep.
Otherwise, you'll just get like a backslide kind of thing. Dang, I'm still bad at this. Yeah. Of course not. Yeah, don't do like this for short boost early screw.
Sorry.
No worries. And I died. No, I hadn't ever found it on my own. Also, another thing, take some time to like take a, you know, when you've been doing this for a long time, like any repetitive motion, you know, take a break, stretch your hands.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like in the sense that what you think is the timing changes based on how tired your left thumb gets.
Yeah. That's it really sucks, but you know, that's the way it is. It's just sort of like, you know, you're just gonna have like fatigue from doing the same motion for so long that, you know, all of your inputs are basically garbage. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, I should go to sleep, or I should take a break or something. I know. Oof. They're gonna find one to the right, and I'm gonna be like, no. Like, I don't want to do one to the right. Like, not one like this.
Oh, right. It's a bit like trying to do Adam reverse, which is really nasty.
Yeah. Alright, I got it. Lay a bomb. Do a spark. Do a flash, and you're up. So are there any questions about the, actually, doing the shine spark? Not just storing it, but actually doing it? I can point out a couple of things if, you know, just sort of go over it.
Just a good visual cue of where to actually do the spark.
Of course. Right here.
Okay, so underneath the bigger, like,
right
stalag.
underneath this stalactite.
Okay.
Damn, Samus, you're really fucked up.
What's the sequence? Is it just a case of... Can you buffer the unmorphed flesh after you've gone up the top?
I am not really sure, but I doubt it. I've tried to do it, and it just didn't really work for me. But you can start your flash as soon as the as soon as the after image from the speed booster wears off, like after you've all sparked. So like there's like maybe like about a half second there where you can just like, oh, I'm an idiot, I came in here thinking I could grab this. Alright, let's try to do it again. It's over.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh no, it's ogre.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't heal up to 350, and that is my payment.
First go, or?
No, I think it was like second.
Oh.
I think I like messed it up the first time. For like, got like some sort of weird result from it. I had to farm a little bit, but it was still like it was still pretty good. And like naturally, this is killed. This is like killed runs for me, of course. Yeah. So you just have to keep practicing and hope you can just sort of pull it off. You know, let your muscles do the thinking for you. Very sorry farming luck right now. Yeah, that's the part of the trick that's tedious, is the farming. It's just like, it's just much easier to have gravity suit here.
Does the emerald mean you're a little too late or too early?
The airwalk. So, like, do you mean when you just sort of like go over the ledge, or when you like
You slide off and then stand in the middle of the ledge.
So you're dropping to the ledge below you, or no?
I mean, towards the edge, but you don't actually hit it because you stay in the edge.
I'm not really understanding. Can you explain it in a different way?
Yeah, okay. So, you know that if you slide off and you said that you're not actually standing on the ledge below, but you can...
Of course.
The ground,
Yeah.
so you can jump up.
Uh-huh.
What does that mean for the timing?
You were too early. You were too early for your distance that you had. Because remember, you're storing up distance. And if you're too early, it's not even like momentum. It's just like it's not something you can describe because it's not something it's not how physics is supposed to work. Just that stored up energy has to, like, you know, go somewhere. And it's just sort of like the earlier you fire it off, the more distance you travel.
Sure.
And so if you travel too far, you're gonna slide off the ledge.
Because there's however much animation left, and that decreases over time.
Exactly. You see that one you did right there was
It was probably too late.
very, very late, so there was not a lot of distance.
Yeah. But the cancel there was late.
Yeah, the cancel was late.
So I presume it's possible to, you know, get a source there rather than get halfway positions depending on how good you get it.
Yeah. So you might be able to. You might be able to store it here, like from like here all the way to the ledge. I've seen people like pause buffer this last frame so they can hit down.
Oh yeah.
You know, because there might be times that you get it, and then you're not quick enough on the store, and so you just kind of end up like flying off into the water. Because you did get a speed booster, but you know you weren't able to store it in time.
Cool.
I'm gonna try to do this one more time. Nice. Very nice. Oh yeah. Practicing getting out of this room as well, which is a lot more straightforward. So yeah, you basically do the same thing you would do in NMG. You just sort of water bomb jump up there, grab screw. And then, slightly more interesting is what you want to do after you grab screw. Yep. So, wall jump. Alright, you got that right there. Do another jump and then flash. And you can grab that missile tank if you want, but like you're able. If I can get the trick again, I'll like show you how I would leave them.
You just leave the way you can, right?
Yeah, you just leave the way you came.
Like so.
And Kirby says if you want to make the ball spark window a little longer, you can do jumps in the water as you move to the stalactite to have more speed.
Oh, true. Because if you're holding a direction, it won't spark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that. That's good. Thank you for that comment about like putting the arm cannons back. That really helps get the button.
Oh, which comment?
The comment about when the arms back from the graphics, that's when you can melee.
Yeah.
Since you've said that, I haven't gone into the room again.
Yeah, it's a fairly solid indicator of when you can buffer. And don't quote me on this, but it seems like it takes less time to do the aim method. But the ball method is fine too.
I haven't tried the aim method, so it might be worth a go. Because I know Seth has some crazy thing that he just jumps into it and it works. So that sounds...
Sketch? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see. Just borders.
Don't you need space jump for that though? Like the jump one?
Oh, maybe actually. No,
I thought they said something about you needing space for that. I'm not sure though.
I know it exists. I tried it once. I
Yeah.
actually quite like that aim method. It does feel faster.
Yeah. Yeah, you lose a lot less energy overall. And you get the added benefit of a little leniency too. Alright, so here we go. Alright, now let me show you how I would leave here.
Yep.
Come up here. Of course, this is all bog standard NMG stuff. Yeah. And I'm just sort of thinking as like, if you had space jump already, why would you be here? Wouldn't you have gotten this already? But you know, I have no idea.
Yeah, the normal way angles. The whole point
Yeah.
of this is that you can't have space. There's no point having space.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm here on the statue. Bonk, bonk, flash.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't want to grab that, but alright. Yeah.
So you just do
Bonk,
normal
bonk.
jump there.
And then you... Like, I've been learning to do a lot of good stuff with Flash now that I don't have space jump in NMG.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Yep, and then you come down here, exit the way you would exit. You know, whether that's by doing a spark or an out-of-water bomb jump or a WBJ.
Yeah.
You know, however you leave there. And then you come back. And then you just, you go back the way you came.
Oh,
See, isn't that easy?
sure. Say that. It's actually not true. Is it actually the spark back? I have no idea what the route surrounding it looks like because I've not really managed to get through this reliably.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just sort of like, you know, you're just coming back the way you came.
There's a spot. Just deep inside here.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Are there any questions?
No, you have. No, that's up a lot. Thank you.
Thank goodness. My goal here is to turn this from a trick that is completely intimidating to a trick that is slightly less intimidating.
Yeah.
You know, that you would attempt. This is I think of this like the NMG shines, or not the NMG shine sync, sort of, because it has like a sort of similar threat of death. But it doesn't go out of bounds, so it's allowed in NMG.
Ah.
Yep. Remember, you don't want to hit that flash too early.
Yeah.
This is just the worst this is the worst version of Space Pseudo? Huh. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, is it worth the trade?
Mm-hmm,
Not
yeah.
sure.
I liked Space Pseudo.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Until, the occasional time where it, for some reason, takes forever.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. But this is how it goes. Yeah. Here.
Until like the small lads, it still makes sense to.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's RNG in this trick too, because, like you just said, you're not going to get the same frame every time. You know,
Sure.
Unless you're like unless you're one of the many human tassers floating around. Like it's not, I'm not that. So I just have to work. I just have to like work at it until. I fucked this trick up so many times. Not even close. I'm thinking of something like Bonnet or Dyed Spike. Or that orange guy. Yokoro-san. As well. Yokoro-san is very good as well. Yeah. That is pretty nice. Anyway, if there are no more questions, I'm gonna get out of your hair. Feel free to use this bootcamp room as much as you want. I'll post this video to my YouTube so that you can watch it, and if you need to like refresh your memory on what you were doing at the time, just so that maybe it fires a different sort of synapse that gives you a eureka moment. And you suddenly get down. That's work. So anyway, take care. I'm off to bed because I have another short boost boot camp tomorrow at 9 a.m. my time, so I need to go to sleep.
Hey Jay, I do have a quick question.
Yes.
So I noticed when I do the flash cancels, I normally have not a lot of room.
Sorry, I disconnected real quick. Could you start your question over? I didn't mean to disconnect.
I noticed that my flash cancels go back a lot further than a lot of the ones I've seen you do. I'm assuming that's just from not getting my stick to neutral quickly enough.
Yes.
Okay.
So like I said, there's like I said, it's a quarter circle, but most people will find it more comfortable for it to be a half circle. It doesn't really, I don't think there's a huge difference between the two as far as, getting the trick actually set up. It's just sort of like, it's a timing thing.
I almost had it.
Let's see what you got. Let's see if,
I didn't flash shift, I slid into the water.
Yeah.
So I didn't have enough time.
We're gonna have a 10 version of this up, but just like we did 10 of them.
Yeah. I posted my 10 short boost splits in the chat, so if you want to use those, very handy. They're meant to be used with the gravity suit.
Sure.
So you'll open them up and they'll say 10 SASB no cold damage. You shouldn't be taking cold damage while you're doing this. Yeah, if there are no more questions, I'm gonna head off. If there are more questions, just ping an any percent NMG teacher, and we'll get right on that.
Alright, thanks, Jay.
Thank you for
No
putting out
worries.
the time zone. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Always glad to help. Take care.
Take care.
Yeah.